Hey guys, I'm so excited to have you guys hear Bobbi's story. If you are someone that's been suffering with like headaches and shoulder pain and neck pain, and you're looking for a solution, then you need to listen to this because that's kind of how Bobbi was. And she actually found this in a magazine from one of my articles that I was writing. She was like, "Oh my God, it sounds like me. Is it really possible that I can actually get some resolution for this? That's amazing." So so Bobbi, tell us a little bit about like what was going on like with your headaches and how long you've had it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So my headache started, I guess, maybe right after I graduated from college and had an office job. And so they were constant. They were on my head. They just didn't wasn't normal. So I went to the doctor. What you do? And I was told, well, you're stressed. Don't be stressed. And I was like, look, I have a really chill life. I'm not stressed. I want to tell you though, well, take these pills. I grew up in a you take a pill, you take a pill. So fine. The problem was, and it never worked. So you go to a different doctor and you have the same story, get the same result. And eventually you just kind of stop talking to the doctor because
You
it's,
kind of give up. You're like, I guess this
you
way I'm
know,
gonna live.
yeah, I guess this is just my new reality.
Yeah.
So it was very disconcerting, which was 100 night and day from when you and I, my headaches, because I said, Stephanie, I have a headache all the time. I have a headache that's sometimes tolerable and sometimes intolerable, but they're all. When I told a doctor that, he told me to stop exaggerating.
Oh my
And when
God.
I told you that, you did two really important things that I'm grateful for. One, you said, I believe you. I think that you probably do have headaches. Two, I understand that there's a mental and physical component to being in pain all the time. And I it. And I was like, someone sees me.
Yeah.
And three, and the most important thing I think is you said, this is not uncommon, but I can help you.
Yeah.
And I went, hmm, let's
Let's see if you can help me.
let's see. Yes, absolutely.
I think it was funny because I remember having a conversation and you went back to your husband and your husband was like, "Is she a quack?"
Was it foo-foo
Was
weird?
it
Was there like,
foo-foo?
yeah, was there the cats? And I was like, no, it was a very professional office. Yes. I also bebopped into the house that first time after my first session, and he was like, you seem different. I was like, yeah, I don't have a headache. Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
which is so amazing. It's so
First
frustrating
session.
because, your story we hear all the time that, they go to doctors, the doctors literally, I mean, we've had patients that the doctors are like, like, yeah, they don't believe you and they want to
No.
send you to like a psych ward or something because the problem is that they go and all they want to do is image you and they're like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I don't understand why you're in so much pain. And you can't do that. And when you do that, you misdiagnose people all the time, which happens, which leads them down to what they give you are medications, which is kind of what happens. And you realize that that doesn't work because it's not always, we feel pain multiple ways. And I explain this like to you is like, we have mechanical pain and we have chemical pain and we have thermal pain. Thermal pain would be like burns and sunburns, but chemical pain is like that constant throbbing, aching. I can't change my position. I can't do anything to make it better. So it's like you have like a kidney infection and that it's the kidney infection that is creating the chemicals and that can help reduce your pain. But again, you got to get to why the kidney is infected to begin with. And that's what we don't do in the medical system, which is all the mechanical pain, which is how is the body moving? What parts are moving, what parts are not moving? How can we put it together? Because it's all connected. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what people don't realize. And then they all go look at like one area. And that's the one area that I'm gonna look at. I'm like, wait a second. It's like you can have issues in the thoracic spine and their upper neck totally moves fine. But it's the thoracic spine that's creating some of the headaches. And you can have stuff that's upper and you can have a combination and it creates shoulder, like it's all connected. And people don't want to connect the dots. They don't want to critically
Well,
think.
absolutely. It's very interesting that you said that because I was having shoulder pain and I had no idea that they were connected.
Yes.
So I was going to a chiropractor and for my shoulder pain, not working. I mean, it felt great in the moment.
Yeah, but it comes
It
back.
was, and then I was going to a doctor for a medical
And it,
doctor wasn't working.
yeah.
So to having something simplistic, it is not, but to have something explained like all of this, Bobby, is because this part of your neck, and me going, isn't it? I could do this, but and it was completely night and day.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's just it's frustrating that we see patients that go through this when they don't have to. And it's just it's like it's what's wrong with our medical system, honestly.
Right.
So it's frustrating. So you've been doing this a long time, you've tried a lot of things and it didn't work. So what were some of your fears with this? Because I mean, this is what people deal with all the time. They've been dealing with things for years and they can't find answers. And so then they have all these fears. And I know I was explaining a little bit of like how you probably felt. And you're like, can I bring you home and take you to my husband? Because he doesn't understand. You got it.
Right. I think, I was never a huge athlete and it wasn't like, oh, Stephanie, my, you know, baseball career is going down the tubes. No, it's not. What I was afraid of is when you're in pain so often, frequently, you tend to isolate. You tend to go see those people because, I don't really feel like I'm not myself. I don't go out. I don't feel like seeing my family. And after a while, as you self isolate, you get more and more depressed.
Mhm.
And I was really worried that if this pain wasn't going to go away, where am I going to be in 1 year or 5 years? Am
Mhm.
I even doing anything? Am I enjoying my life? Um, and you talk about my husband, we're going to the movies, we're going out to eat, we're having drinks in the evening for no other reason than because we can walk down the street and get it. And that was not happening before I came to see you. I would just
Amazing.
try to get through my work, come home, take a handful of Excedrin, and wait until I could go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's really
And
the
that's what
day.
people do.
Yeah,
People don't understand, like, especially when the pain is in the head. So that's different than like pain. It's still all consuming with people when they have pain, like in their back or their knee or whatever the case may be. But when it's in your head, it is exhausting. It's like it takes all your mentalness out. It's like you can't put anything else in there because all that is happening is the pain in your head. And so it's exhausting. So all you want to do is like you're basically going to bed, coming home,
yeah,
don't want to do anything, go to bed to basically wake up so that you can function at work long enough to be able to continue to work, to be able to go back home and go to bed. And it's a cycle that you do. And literally, like, you're like, I'm not living.
right. Yeah,
And that's sad. And then you have the medical system that just feeds it even more, like makes you even more depressed because it's like I mean, like it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so frustrating.
very. And you get to the point of where you just stop talking about it.
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, I'm not going to get the help I need." And like I said, I didn't even mention my neck pain or my shoulder pain to my doctor because I didn't think it was the same. But I was just like, you
They
know what?
wouldn't have connected it either way.
No, yeah, every plea you've ever given me doesn't. So why bother?
Yeah.
I know you only have 3 minutes with me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let's just get this going.
Yeah, no, it's bad. So, tell me a little bit about like your experience coming here. Like, the first experience you've already talked about, like our first conversations a little bit, but even like our first treatment.
Because you believe me. Number two, you said this is not uncommon. When you have these kind of headaches, like I was talking about isolation, you feel like no one else can understand that pain and how you feel. And you were like, oh yeah, I know a lot of people that are dealing with this. Help them, and I'm going to be able to help you too. I wasn't sequestered in some back room, waiting for 45 minutes. It was bright, open, and airy.
Yeah.
It was very friendly. You get your attention in your conversations right. You don't feel like it was just a very bright environment. It was very welcoming. But what all that is very, but the most important thing I think is when I got up off of that and walked out to my car, and the way that I felt for the first time in years
Yeah.
is you're fantastic. The staff is fantastic. I sing your praise, but I was driving home going, I can move my neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it
just
was
the
amazing.
education too, like you can see how it's all connected. And like why we start, like we'll really explain each step, like why we're working here. And then can you see how this improved this? Because we take baselines of things. And then like even now, like
Absolutely.
how's your shoulder feeling compared to where it was even a month ago?
Night and day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What's also very is when I am in a job where I'm an investigator, so I'm very intensely paying attention to details. And so I tend to do this.
Mhm.
Here, Stephanie, in my head. This
Yes.
says you need to
Nope.
do
Sit up.
sit up and walk around
Yeah.
and move your body.
Yeah.
I'm learning not only why this happens, what I can do to mitigate it.
Yes. Like your everyday
And
activities.
every day, I have exercises that I do 3 times a day that keep body moving in the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, okay, move your neck like this, or otherwise it's going to get stuck.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. And
But
it's
it
so
does work.
simple. Like you're like, how
Yeah.
come no one else can figure this out? It's so simple. Like you're not giving me anything. I always laugh too because I tell people like, the equipment that I use the most is actually a towel.
Exactly.
I
You
mean,
told me that,
literally
and I was like, a towel?
a towel.
I don't have to buy a lot of expensive
No.
stuff.
Yes.
You were like, no, you have,
You can find a towel anywhere, even when you
yes,
travel.
right, of course.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
totally,
know. It's amazing what you can do with a towel and how much it can help. But yeah, it's like simple things. And people don't get into like the daily activities of like what are you doing throughout the day that might be creating some of these things because you have to bring awareness around that. Otherwise, you go back to the same activity, which is why like when people have surgeries and things like that and they're not sure what they did, then they go and have the surgery, but no one gave them education as to why it happened, and they go to those same patterns and all of a sudden their pain returns. They're like, it's back again. And the doctor's like, yeah, I know. I knew we're going to have to do a bigger surgery. And this is what happens in our healthcare system.
no one wants to have a surgery. No one wants to take medication they don't really
No,
need. And it
exactly.
does. We just want to figure out how we can live our lives as we age
Yes.
and just be pain free as possible. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
absolutely. And
not
it's
all that difficult.
no, and it's not, I mean, and it's possible. And like that's what I like to tell people. It is so possible. They think that, oh, they get these diagnoses of like arthritis or they have degenerative changes or all these things. Like they're scary for people, but it doesn't mean that you have to live with pain because half the time that's not where the pain's coming from. It's things that you're doing throughout the day. It's things that where you're not moving correctly. And if we can get those things resolved, you feel so much better and it doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't take long. It's fantastic.
So if you had to tell someone like they were on the fence about coming in, what would you say?
I would say I understand. Um, I get because I was exactly the same way. I walked in with an attitude the first time I spoke to Stephanie Tyson. No, what I would honestly say is you've dealt with this long enough. You deserve to feel better.
Yeah.
In, no one is going to pressure you. You need to pay for 12 sessions now. It's going to convince that if you don't get treatment, you're going to die.
Yeah.
It's not a pressure environment.
Yeah.
It's a welcoming, caring environment. It's like I really think that I can help you.
Yeah.
On the fence, do one session.
Yeah.
Pay for one session because and you have headaches and have had them for years. When you sit up for the first time and the pain has drained away, you almost don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
It is worth trying it. That's
Yeah.
absolutely worth seeing if it works for you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was, I didn't know if it was going to work for me or not. I'll be honest with you. I didn't have any idea if it was nothing had before. but it's worth a try. And
Yeah.
I've told coworkers and colleagues, friends and family, if you feel like this and you felt like this for a while,
Yeah.
she can help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And this is why we have those times where people can sit down and talk to us before they come in and say, okay, yeah, I want to work with you, because we want to hear their story and see like
right.
what they've gone through and be like, yeah, no, we've seen this before and we can definitely help you. And these are all the different areas that we're going to look at. So I think, the next step is let's just do the evaluation. And then from there, we can go from there. Like it's a step-by-step process. It's not a,
Yeah,
here's your first visit and you're going to buy 50 visits with us for, and you're gonna have to be with us for the rest of your life. And now with that being said, people feel fantastic and they come back for tune-ups, and people come back where they want to come in so we can do some manual stuff because they know that they kind of slide with their exercises a little bit, even though they know what they need to do because we're all busy. So I mean,
yeah,
there are times where people come in, but it's not like that's not our goal. Our goal is to teach you what you can do.
correct. And that was another startling difference too, is pretty much saying, I don't want to forever. I want to give you the tools so you feel better on your own.
Yeah.
And the conversation we had, it was just, how did you, what have you tried?
Yep.
And that is a conversation that most people don't have with their medical physicians. They just say, what's the problem? Here's your prescription.
Yeah.
And that's not what I experienced
Yeah.
with you. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much because I know so many people are going to love this story, because it's a story. It's like stories like these that other people see themselves in, and they can be like, oh my God, there actually might be some hope for me, because people lose hope. I mean, everyone goes through the same situation. This is a story that we hear all the time, no matter what body part. It's so frustrating. It makes me want to get out there even harder and work harder so that we can help more people, because it's like it doesn't have to be this way. And there's really, I don't feel like there's an advocate for patients. It's just push them off, give them a pill, we don't have time. And that's like, if we could actually sit down and have conversations in the healthcare system, we actually could critically think and figure things out, but we've lost that ability. And so for me, like that's what I want my office to be, is that ability for people to come here. Like more people come here using us for primary care type stuff because they know that we can get them to someone that can help or that will actually listen to them,
Yeah,
than doctors' offices, honestly. They'll come and see us before they'll go see an orthopedic surgeon for our opinion before they go see an orthopedic surgeon, because they know that we're going to spend the time going, these are the questions that I would ask.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
this is great. I'm so excited that you're able to share your story. Thank you so much.
I was listens to this and comes in and sees you and gets the help that they deserve.
Thank you.